We have New Soul 9 with 3 super chats. He says, "Hey MBG, I wanted to add to the conversation about Spider-Man going to Xbox. What type of move, doesn't actually indicate PlayStation is going third party."
What? So instead of talking about exclusives, now we out here talking about excuses?
And I'll explain why.
Here we go.
We need to remember Spider-Man's Spider-Man game is the license is not fully owned by Sony.
I find it so funny that you fanboys want to talk about business, but yet don't even understand the concept of how it works. You know the reason as to why Sony's even able to make Spider-Man games? Oh, that's right, kids, because they own the main character, which also gives them likeness to all of the other characters within that universe that Marvel created. That's why when Disney purchased this company, they're like, oh, Sony's like, let's just hold on to Marvel Spider-Man, because if we do, we'll also have likeness to everything else that's involved with Marvel, because he's the main character. You big dummy, how do you people don't understand this? This is Sony's own intellectual property, especially when they have their own studio creating the game. They're going third party. Now you trying to push it as it's the MLB situation. No, it isn't. Because Sony does own it. They own the main character of the universe, which also gives them access to all the other characters that Marvel created. This is why Disney's like, oh, we need to go back and buy that character, because Sony can still use our own intellectual property just by owning the main character. Does that make sense? How do you PlayStation fanboys don't know this? But yet y'all want to talk business.
And more by Marvel, so Xbox executives don't really need to approach PlayStation to bring Spider-Man, but rather go to Marvel themselves.
Oh, here we go. Now they gotta go to Marvel. Man, even your cat put his head up like, what are you talking about, bro? They just went to Marvel, Oh, they're trying to make this look like the MLB situation, and guess what? It still isn't. Because you wanna know what's so funny? So if it's all about NFL licensing and all this, then explain to me, right, how back in the days, right, because y'all like to use that term a lot, how every other company used to make their exclusive sports game. Remember? NBA The Live, NBA Courtside. Ain't nobody was saying that these games had to be available on any other platform. A lot of the times these games was exclusive to the platform that they were created on, right? NFL Fever, Xbox, NBA Inside Drive, right? And it said only on Xbox. What are you talking about, bro? You guys are coping, man. Sony has been third party for a long time already. Now you guys are starting to see it for yourself with that job listing. And now instead of talking about exclusives, we want to talk about excuses.
Making this more of an MLB situation.
Oh, here we go. MLB. It's an MLB situation.
All over again, where it's not really PlayStation's choice.
Here we go. It's not What are you, bro? Oh my goodness, bro. Now I see why Porter Roach called y'all a bunch of weirdos. What are y'all doing, man? At least the Xbox fanboys took it in stride. But you guys are seriously out of your mind, bro. Like, I'm telling you, you guys have completely lost all your marbles. I said Marvel, no pun intended. You have lost all your marvels. Spider-Man will be swinging to a console near you. What comes great power comes great responsibility within the console and gaming landscape. Spider-Man will save all platforms from now on. What are we doing, bro? Even his cat is like, huh? What are you talking about, bro? You notice this cat looking at you like, you're not making any sense here, MBG.
Or PlayStation will naturally comply, just like they did with the MLB. It's an interesting thought.
So explain everybody's Hot Shot Golf. Explain Tumba. Explain Freedom Wars, because I got these games. Patapon. I had to import it from Japan or whatever so I can get a physical copy. But yes, these are games that are also dropping on Switch that Sony owns. So we can sit there and to keep downplaying the fact that Sony's not full third party, but they've been third party for a while.
I mean, I've always considered the fact that when Insomniac had their big hack, I think it was December of 2023, one of the pieces of information will be safe. The whole idea is that Marvel won't lose money licensing it out. But what you're saying here about Spider-Man, it could be true. I mean,
it's not.
I don't think Marvel would have to twist Sony's arm too much about backporting Spider-Man 1 or 2.
They can't. Because Sony made the game with their own in-house studio. how hard is it for you guys to believe? So if Spider-Man does pop up on Xbox, you guys are going to say that Marvel was the reason as to why that game popped up. What is it going to take from you PlayStation fanboys to realize that your company is full third party like Xbox? Like, what is it going to take at this point? Because I'm starting to think that even your most horrific single player, I mean, Last of Us, let's just say that as an example. If that pops up on Xbox, what are you guys going to say now? You know? Like, I mean, at this point, you guys are just moving the narratives, man. You're just moving it, man. And like I've said before, instead of talking about it, exclusives, now we out here talking about excuses.
Spider-Man 3 is the more interesting question to me, though, and we're going to talk about that later on. Like, would Sony actually drop Spider-Man 3 across everything? And if they were to do that, again, it's like, well, how much of it is Sony's decision versus how much of it would be Marvel?
It is Sony's decision, okay? It is Sony's decision. Their studio made the game. It is their decision.
Have this job listing, new Soul 9. This job listing, straight up, is Sony...
Like, imagine if they said this when Bethesda was putting games. Oh, so I guess Doom, Xbox is still exclusive because, Microsoft, even though they own Bethesda, but Bethesda always put games on other platforms. Therefore, they're still exclusive. Like, what? 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 If only they said that with Xbox, right? If only they said that with Xbox, then Xbox would still be exclusives, right? No, you guys didn't run with that narrative, did you? Exactly. It was multi-plat. It was full third-party strategy. Y'all knew it. We all knew it. Porter Roach told y'all fools himself. Y'all a bunch of weirdos. You guys was clowning Xbox gamers for the same stuff that you guys are now defending for Sony.
Confirming that they are going to be releasing more games on Xbox and Switch too. Now, where things get kind of muddy with this conversation is Sony obviously keeps certain things vague with this job listing, like they don't explicitly state certain things. So certain things are left up to interpretation or for people to decide for themselves, and that's what has already...
But of course, fanboys will decide that, it's they would never do that. You guys are being biased.
The conversation quite a bit is people are jumping to whatever conclusion that suits them. I'm not interested in jumping to any conclusions. I'm going to actually reiterate what I've said numerous times up till this point, which is when it comes to PlayStation at this point, expect anything. In fact, it's funny because that's one of the last things I said on a previous stream.
Wow.
Nothing too crazy. Par for the course. How much money has it made? Pretty much double what the PS4 made. The PS5 made more money than the entirety of the PS1 through PS4 generation combined already.
That's because of Fortnite and third-party games.
I want you to understand that...
Understand that when Fortnite and all these games was coming out, it was coming out towards the end of the PS4. See, y'all like games. So see, I love the way you explain things because I can explain things in detail to where people can understand. You get what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say. These free-to-play, Apex, Fortnite, those same whatever quality games, those games dropped kind of towards the later of the PS4 generation. So yes, they've seen a lot of that success, but a lot of that success got carried where, guys? To the PS5. You see what I'm saying? Because now when the PS5 launches, they already start the gate off with a Fortnite. They already start the gate off with a new Apex. You get what I'm saying? With updates and all. That's what I'm saying. It was the transitional period with the PS4. If the PS4 had that benefit early on, I can guarantee the PS4 would probably have more money than the PS5. Guarantee. But the reason why the PS5 has the most money because it started, you get what I'm saying, with the free-to-plays from the very beginning. And that's where a lot of their money is coming from.
Sony achieved this while backporting their games to PC. All of this has occurred while Sony is out here marketing and putting resources into backporting games to PC and porting games like Lego Horizon to Switch 2. So when Hiroki Totoki...
No, that's not it. There's quite a few. Freedom Wars and Patapon. I actually have those games. I actually got Freedom Wars coming today. a PlayStation exclusive coming today for my Nintendo Switch.
Said in not the last earnings report, but the one previous, when he was asked by shareholders, have you noticed a diminish in console sales by releasing your games on PC? And Hiroki Totoki responded by saying, no, we have not noticed any cannibalization by putting our games on PC. The console seems to be doing just as well as it ever has. What do you think the next step from there is?
Get to the point.
Logically, what is the next step? Is it to just say, well, all right, I guess we'll just stay here? No, you're going to push further. That's what you're going to do. You're going to say, okay, well, if we can backport our games to PC and still just sell just as many consoles, what else can we do? Well, let's release our most successful live service on Xbox. Let's see what happens then. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're saying be more greedy, but pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's a business. Why do you think they're in the business to begin with? To make money. You think they care about your console fanboy feelings? Knowing that notion alone is already tells me all the answers that I need to know. It's so funny that because you even got Nintendo fanboys. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm coming to a Switch 2 near you because I've been seeing a lot of capping going on. So once we finally resolve this quote-unquote stupid console war, right, with these ponies, because they still going on it. It's a war as long as people are still willing to fight for it. I'm not engaged in it. I'm just kind of speaking in, looking at it, and dropping airstrikes as I see fit. But in regards to this, you Nintendo fanboys, y'all ain't out of the clear. You even got them going as far to say Nintendo. Bro, there's one thing my dad always told me. Never say never. Never say never. That is something that you guys can learn in life. Never say never. Because every time you say something will never happen, guess what ends up happening? It does. Okay? You people are a bunch of man children. You think Nintendo ain't going to go through this. I'm telling you, they're already working on a PC distributing service. Remember, I'm on record saying this. So when it happens, you make sure you throw me my flowers. Don't throw them to everybody else because they want to nitpick off the stuff that I say in my content and use it as their own. I said that. Okay? Nintendo is going to be pushing for a distributing service on PC. More likely after the Switch 2 is dead. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when Nintendo is going to feel reasonable to do that. Okay? But I will say they are working on it. So they can start distributing their games on PC. More than likely, just to take an educated guess for people that are actually willing to understand where I'm coming from, more than likely after the Switch 2 is done, which is going to take a while. So, I mean, like I said, because Nintendo's going to try to milk it to oblivion. So, like I said, it's going to be a while, but just remember who told you this.
I am a little bit behind on the super chats, though. Let me catch up here. And William,
just like they say, just like Friday the 13th with the guy that warns you to don't go to Camp Crystal Lake. I'm the crazy guy on the bike telling you, it's haunted. Don't go there. What did y'all do? You laughed at me and said, he's crazy. You don't know. Let me tell you something. And y'all don't even understand what crazy means. Okay? Right? I'm going to explain something. And this is the way, when you hear somebody say you're crazy, then more likely you're right. And I'm going to explain why I say this. Just like you guys probably never, well, not specifically because you guys weren't born. Just imagine being back in the old days, drinking your moonshine and, and you just, I had a dream. What's going on, Timmy? I had a dream. What's this? One day we're going to be flying and some thing and we're going to have cars and what are you talking about? We're going to be riding horses. What are you talking about? We in 1800. We're going to be riding horses forever, Timmy. You must be drinking too much of that moonshine again. I'm telling you, I see it. I see it. Y'all don't see it. Oh, man, he crazy. He don't know what he talking about. He talking about they're going to have planes and they're going to be riding on some vehicle. He don't know what he talking about. He crazy. Then it happens. Do you see what I'm saying? You're like, oh, snap, GameStop. I get that theory. I get that example that you're referring to. Because how many people probably told that person, you're crazy. He was crazy, but he was right. I find it so funny that the crazy one is the one that happens to be right. Y'all like, oh, snap, games. So I like the way you put that. So like I tell you, so when the crazy man with the bike tell you don't go to Camp Crystal Lake, I'm going to tell you, maybe you shouldn't go there.
With what you said here, You could be right. You could be wrong. You know, I saw a lot of people in the chat saying you're completely wrong. I mean, the truth is, man, like, the people in the chat know just as much as you do.
Mm.
You know just as much as them. I know just as much as you guys. I'm not part of Sony's board. I'm not in the boardroom meetings. I don't know what's being said. I don't know what they're planning on doing. We'll go over this job application though. Maybe we'll get a little bit of insight over every stone. I still am not entirely sure what the strategy is here. Like what the end goal is. I mean, we can.
I mean, bro, really? You just looked at the job list and then you still don't know what's going on?
Safely say the end goal is more revenue, more sales, but specifically with Sony targeting the Xbox player base, I just genuinely wonder, what is the end goal? Look,
the end goal is full third party. Bro.
I know that this is going to sound crazy, but is it like... Is this the last ditch of like...
Just say it.
Okay, well,
just
the next Xbox hardware is basically going to be a PC, so let's give Xbox players that are still there, let's give them a little taste. Let's give them a little taste.
No. That doesn't make no sense. Because they're going to have access to the games anyway. Okay? They're going to have access to the games. Why not just sell it to them, make the money directly, because the games are going to be played through them anyway.
We'll put over Helldivers, maybe we'll throw over Spider-Man. So that way, when we roll out the PS6, and it's clear that the next Xbox is just a PC, they may, maybe I'll go to PlayStation.
See, but this is a problem. I'm going to explain something. Yes, Sony could still push out that strategy of making Marvel Spider-Man 3 PS6 exclusive, but yet again, the new Xbox is going to have Steam. That's going to mess with Sony's strategy. See, this is what y'all don't understand. Y'all kept saying, oh, y'all Xbox fanboys care more about Steam. No, y'all not getting it. You still don't get it. Because it messes with Sony's strategy of them trying to lock the game away. Marvel Spider-Man 3 exclusive for PS6. They'll probably drop it on PC maybe a few months later. Go into Steam, which will also be available on Xbox. PlayStation saying, why would we do that when we could just sell it on Steam and Xbox? Because they're going to have access to it anyway. So they're looking at it like, we might as well just sell the game because they're going to have access to play it anyway. What is the point? What is the point gatekeeping something that they can already play anyway? You get what I'm saying? See, this is, bro, they don't understand, bro. They don't understand this, and this is why you know Sony is going full third party.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the exact reasoning is. The only thing we can say is they're looking to get sales. They're looking to grow their
But even if you completely get Xbox out of this, just remove Xbox. See, you know what? You know what? I'm going to explain. GameStar with another W. You guys are going as far to say, oh, well, it's because Xbox is a PC, right? That's why, it doesn't really matter. But guess what? I'm going to hit the nail in the coffin, and this is going to end the whole argument. Then explain Switch 2. Oh! Exactly. Explain the Switch 2, though, bruh. Explain it. Yo, like GameStar, you just checkmated them. Just check. You see how easy that was? Explain Switch 2. Forget Xbox. Xbox was just a PC. Forget that. Okay, fine. We'll play devil's advocate for you. Now explain Nintendo Switch. Explain Nintendo Switch 2. I bet you can't explain that, can you? Exactly. GameStar with another W.
Service. That's pretty much all we do know. But
you guys are so worried about Xbox, but you're not even worried about Nintendo. Oh, it ain't a home console. Oh, now it's a portable. Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start working them out a little bit, bro.
When PlayStation talked about how we're gonna make our own portable, they said, we might as well just bank off the games. I've also told y'all that. Why would Sony make their own portable when they could just put games on the Nintendo Switch on other devices that are way more successful than Sony coming out with their own? I mean, come on, bro. The proof was right there in front of you. But like I said, you guys keep saying, this multi-platform strategy. The reason why for Xbox because it has Steam, but then Nintendo Switch 2 don't have Steam. Nintendo Switch 2 don't have Steam. The current Xbox as of right now doesn't have Steam. And Sony says we're still going third party. Just admit it, man. You know what, bro? Like I said, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Spider-Man will be swinging to a console near you. And like I said, what comes great power comes great responsibility. Take care.